awake is the way that you left me. Side by side in your car in the backseat. Wide awake is the way that you left me. Oh.
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Also, if you are new, welcome. Today's video, we have a bunch more deep cleaning tasks to get done around the house. I will say though, starting off in the kitchen with these light fixtures, I love these light fixtures. I love the clear bubbled glass. However, I know for the future that I need to make sure I get something where I can take the domes off because these are not easy to clean. I was messing with this here for a while because I was hoping maybe there was a way to take it off and I just haven't been able to figure it out. There is not. The biggest difference though is cleaning light fixtures in your bathroom compared to your kitchen is you really want to make sure you actually use some sort of degreaser on your kitchen light fixtures. They may not be right next to your stove or something, but these definitely get full of grease, and always make sure to use a 2-cloth method. So I am using this yellow one to clean it, get the grease, the dust, everything like that. And then I end up coming in with a glass cloth to finish the rest of it. It's amazing though how big of a difference it makes when you clean these different light fixtures. I'm going to show you here in a second the before and after, and it's pretty massive. And then right here, you're going to get to see that before and after. It's crazy how much better it gets once you clean these light fixtures. And it's easy to slowly not notice that they're dirty. So I do like to hit these at least once a month, going in there and really cleaning them out. So it's definitely been chilly the past couple of weeks here in Florida. So that is why you guys see me in a sweatshirt. I know this is not normal attire that you guys see me in, but it has definitely been cold. I love this sweatshirt though. Bobby got me this back in 2018 when he was deployed and he was in the UAE. When he would take the weekends and go to Dubai, he every once in a while would buy me something. So that's also where I got my little camels, a cashmere shawl he got me, and then this sweatshirt. This sweatshirt, like I said though, is one of my favorites. It is super cozy. I just absolutely love it, but I know people might be wondering what type of sweatshirt this is because it doesn't look like something you would obviously get here, and it's because it wasn't. The same old thoughts be my referee. I will be alright, never cut it right, but somehow you make me change, like I'm better off with you. So I know I answered some of these questions in Bobby and my Q&A on our family vlog channel, but I know some of you guys don't follow us over on Cambria and Bobby, so I wanted to answer some of your guys' questions here today. I know someone asked about grandma coming down here. Is it for vacation or to move down here? If grandma comes down, it will be permanent, not a temporary thing. And biggest thing is she's at an age where she's got a lot of things she needs. So just coming down here on vacation isn't really possible. Plus, there's just a lot more that goes into it. So yes, if grandma ends up down here, it will be a permanent thing, which we are really excited about. I love the idea of the kids getting to know their great-grandma so much better. I think there's a lot of stress about moving in an elderly family member, but also, if you like really think about it, there's so much positive. I know just the family dynamic of what I want my kids to learn is how family should treat family. The history they could learn from their great grandmother. There's just a lot that of benefits, even with knowing obviously it's not going to be like super easy. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but neither is having kids, and we still do that. So yeah, but yeah, it wouldn't be just a vacation thing. What was another question? Oh, people were asking if we still plan on having a fourth baby. We've never stopped trying. This time around has definitely been a lot bigger of a roller coaster, that's for sure. Noticing that getting pregnant hasn't been as easy as in the past. Staying pregnant obviously hasn't been easy. But yes, we are still trying. We've never stopped trying, but we are at a point where it's like, you know what? It's all in God's hands. If it happens, if it happens. If it doesn't, well, his timing is perfect. Oh, cleaning out the sink made me think. So thanks everyone for their different advice with the fruit flies or gnats or whatever they were in our house. I took a couple people's suggestions, so I don't know exactly which one worked. But for the most part, they are gone, and I am very happy. I know a lot of people mentioned them possibly living in our sink drain. I don't think that was the situation. Even though I did do a really good clean out, and that's only because I do like stay on top of my drain. I like to clean out that little black ring in it and clean my sink regularly, but I still did it. I did some baking soda, some boiling water, a little bit of everything to try and get rid of those things, just because they're so annoying. More than anything, when you get fruit flies in your house, they're just absolutely annoying. Now, every once in a while, we still see like one, but for the most part, they are gone. Actually, if you see in that back corner where my fruit bowl and stuff is, that little blue light, that I have on all the time, and it's just to attract any random insects that might get into the house, and usually that's plenty to keep up with it. But yeah, these things were just, they were determined not to die. But I am cleaning off the counters and this backsplash area. I try and focus more on this part of the backsplash right by the stove, because I know this is where most likely you're going to have that grease buildup and everything like that. I'm still absolutely thrilled with the way this backsplash turned out. Every time, especially when I clean it and it like brings out all that little shine and luster in it, I love it. However, I did notice as I was doing that the grates on our exhaust fan was getting a little grimy. So I'm just going in here and wiping this down and then cleaning off those grates. Definitely, this is one of those things of, if you can remember to do this a little bit more regularly, it's not hard to clean at all. But these things get nasty quickly. So I normally try and take this down at least once a month, rinse and wash the filters. These are the filters, and wipe down that top half. That way it just never gets too terribly bad.
No blisters on my hands. I refuse to take a stand. I'm tired of being emotional. I've got news for you. You can't rip my feathers out.
All right, so another question we had was asking if we still plan on moving onto some land. So that is still our goal, is to eventually sell this place and buy somewhere where we have acres of land. But so we don't have to worry about what is it called? The tax, basically, when you sell your house, if you make money off of it, you have to live in that house for 2 years. So June will be 2 years in this house. So nothing will be done at least before June, but that is still a really big goal of ours. I know pretty much since the beginning when we moved down here, I said that I don't think this is our forever home. It might be, it might not be, but I was never going to say if it was or was not. And mainly because we knew the area, but had never lived down here. And that makes a big difference, like knowing where you want to live, all of these things, especially when it's a whole nother state. Being down there first really does make a huge difference. And we have just really learned that we like quiet country living. That is more of how our house was in Watertown when we lived in Wisconsin. Yes, we lived in a subdivision, but out in Watertown is a more secluded country, like small town, and we missed that. So we are hoping in the future, God willing, that we can buy some acreage and just have a more quiet, slowed down life out there. Cleaning off these cabinets. So I am using my Swiffer on them just to get any dust off before spraying and cleaning them. It definitely makes a huge difference if you deal with a lot of dust or animal hair and dander in your house. If you dry dust things first, it makes your life a lot easier. I know I mentioned that in my last video about baseboards, and one of you guys comment how even if you dry dust them, your bowl still feels like it gets full of hair. And I feel like that's just something as pet mom and dads we learn to live with, is we do our best to keep up with the hair, but there comes a point where there's always going to be a little bit left behind. But yeah, if you can Swiffer, or even better, use a vacuum first before wiping them down, it does help tremendously.
You're far away, and yet so close. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, you're up in space. You're inside the noise. I can feel you. Once you've seen all the things, all the places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me. Once you've traveled the world, all the spaces.
So, do any of you guys have plans for Valentine's Day? Bobby and I actually normally don't do anything for Valentine's Day. Big reason always being is I just had my birthday. It was February 4th. And then Bobby's birthday is actually February 15th. So the day after Valentine's Day. And we always do like a nicer combined thing for the two of us. This year we're talking about going to St. Augustine over the weekend. Not for like an overnight, but for a couple hours, just him and I. So we normally avoid Valentine's Day. Plus, just going out to eat on Valentine's Day is always like kind of crazy and hectic. I think we would do more of it if our birthdays weren't aligned right with Valentine's Day. So yeah, we don't normally do anything, but I'm curious what you guys do. I know I did just buy a bunch of cookies for the kids' classrooms and stuff like that. I am not that mom that is like, I wish I was, but I'm not as good as like making those like special snack jars with every kid in the class name and stuff like that. I did think about it this year, and then honestly, I just never got around to getting to the dollar store to grabbing some stuff. I was contemplating getting like water bottles from the dollar store and using my Cricut to put every kid's name on it and things like that, and then just put a little card and some kisses in it, and it just time management is not my strong suit sometimes. And I did not get around to doing it. I see what some moms do and I'm like, oh, like I think about these ideas and things I want to do. And I guess technically I would still have time to get it done today, but I still have so much other things to do today that I'm just like, I'm going to order cookies. The kids can bring in cookies to their class. And honestly, like, I also think in the back of my head, like, I don't want my kids coming home with a bunch of stuff that I gotta declutter in the future. And that's why, like, when I'm thinking of stuff, I'm like, okay, what's something I could do that is practical? Water bottle, practical. Like, the kids nowadays always have a water bottle they bring to school. So if they got one personalized with their name on it, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I never seem to come out and be that Pinterest mom that actually gets it done. The idea is always there, but the actual execution, not as good as that. But now into the dining room, I'm cleaning this ceiling fan. I love this chandelier in our dining room. I love that it looks like a chandelier, but we still have the function of a fan. But man, is it tedious to clean. There's so many nooks and crannies and everything that it is definitely a chore to get this all dusted.
I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah. You know I want it, nah. My heart is saying yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want. Yeah, I can be a fighter if you want.
Like I said before, though, I have found the easiest way to get this cleaned is using my Swiffer dusters. I often use these where I just hold them in my hand compared to actually putting them on the stick and everything. But go in with this first, really well dust everything, and then go in with just a microfiber cloth with maybe a little bit of Pine Sol or my thieves cleaner or something. But it is very important to first go in with one of these. And the reason I like these Swiffers is like these chains, very nitpicky. There's little dust that collects everywhere. And because these have the different fibers and stuff, it really like molds into whatever shape you're going to really collect all that dust. So I do really like these. They actually should come out with just like hand cloths, like ones that are just a little bit bigger, that don't have to go on the sticks, because I would definitely buy those.
Be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. Judging from here, you're all alone.
Actually, thinking about it, I bet if there is probably some sort of hand cloth for Swiffer. Now I need to investigate this. I've never seen them, but it would be smart. I know they have different like dusting mitts and stuff like that. And I've seen them and I've tried them, and I swear nothing works as good as a Swiffer. I've done the dusting mitts and different things like that, and they just don't cling the same. Even like the reusable dusters, and I've got a couple of them. They work okay, but I feel like more drops than is actually caught on it, where the Swiffers just always seem to be really good at catching everything. But after I was done with that, the table obviously really needed to get cleaned off, because even though most of it gets caught, you can see a lot of it still falls and needs to be wiped down. So I'm just getting all that like dust residue off the table. That way when I run the robot vacuum and bring out my wet mop, it'll just pick it all up. Oh, this flower. I love this flower. Bobby's so sweet. He knows I'm not good with plants. So every year he tries to buy me for my birthday plants that I shouldn't kill. So last year the kids got me these different cactuses that are out in the sunroom. A year other than that, he got me some of those, what are they called? I can't think of it. Not perennials. I'll think of it later. But this year he got me these flowers because they're only supposed to need to be watered like every 2 weeks or something like that. So he figured I'd have an easier time not having these ones die either. But yeah, he's always trying to find me plants that I can't dye that are really, really pretty. And it's actually the sweetest thing that I get every year, a different plant that is supposed to be easier to keep alive. Oh, so another question I got asked on our Q&A that I just thought about while cleaning these floors is if I could only have one cleaning tool, what would I choose? And I had a really hard time with that, and I still have a really hard time with that because it would go between my robot vacuum, because with animals, I love that thing. It gets used every single day to keep up with dog hair and things like that. Or this vacuum mop. Because as a mother, I am always dealing with spills and things like that. Or actually even just having animals. Like especially with Minnie still being a puppy, she's gotten a lot better at not having accidents. But it still happens. And it is nice to be able to clean up accidents by quickly wiping it up and then going over it with this right away and getting it all clean. I've had the kids drop tomato sauce and it go everywhere, and this just easily cleans it up. So it's very hard for me to choose. I think it is dependent on what type of household you have. I think in the end, I would probably choose my robot vacuum, which even saying that now, I'm still like, but am I sure? I think because it is really nice not having to vacuum every single room of your house every single day. But that is such a hard one. It would be one of those two. But I'm doing a quick deep clean on this mop vacuum. I like to do this about once a month. So it does have a self-cleaning portion on it, and that obviously you use every single time. But I think it's really important about once a month to go in here and give everything a really good cleaning. Obviously, like when you empty out the dirty bucket, you do this rinsing and whatnot. But the roller brush, the hosing, all of it getting really, really cleaned out. I found if you ever are like, oh, I don't like these because they kind of get a musty smell, it is something where you do want to, every once in a while, give it a deep clean. I feel like with any cleaning tool you have, if it's a vacuum or anything, just every once in a while going in there and giving it a good deep cleaning will make a massive difference of how it works and how long it lasts.
Do you know I'm looking and I can't help but smile? Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here I could stop the time, don't you know?
The other thing, though, to keep in mind when you do clean out this or your regular vacuum or anything is I then don't use this for about 2 days, which is usually the worst 2 days in the world because I use this thing daily. But I like to make sure that all the parts are dry and going to work 100% before I use it again. It's not as important with the vacuum mop because the parts already get wet. I just personally like to make sure everything is 100% dry before I use it again. But here you can see it's actually a different day and I am just tidying up the kids' rooms. They're not too bad. We are going to be doing some updating really soon though in this room and in a couple of the different areas depending on what's going on with Grandma. We may end up moving Freya from this room to the 4th bedroom if Grandma comes down here. It'll all still depend. Everything's still up in the air. But if she does end up down here, our thought is putting Freya into the 4th bedroom would have her closer to Bobby and I. So in the middle of the night, she's not running across the house to come to our room like she currently does. But other thing would be is it has Grandma closer to a bathroom, a little bit bigger of a room, so she could have her reclining chair and a couple other things to make this room a little bit more cozier. So there's just a lot of things at play. But no matter what, something is happening to this room in the near future because Freya really wants a princess room. So something is going to be happening in here.
Together, if I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 I watch you as you drive. Do you know?
So I actually ended up taking that cubicle thing down. If you remember when I did Bjorn's room that we had like some of his clothes and stuff in these little bins. Well, they're still like that, but I never moved the cubicle over to his closet. We may get dressers for their closet, but honestly, there are certain things with kids' clothes that trying to keep, for me personally, now every person is different, but I have learned for our family, it is easier to have clothing categorized. So like a drawer for their shorts, a drawer for their pants, underwear, things like that. And just having it categorized instead of completely perfectly KonMari folded, organized. Because it just doesn't last like that. So their stuff being in those bins actually work fine also because we pretty much do the clean it and throw it in the bins, other than like shirts and stuff. I do the same thing with Freya. It just makes life a lot less stressful. When you tell the kids to put it away and you're not stressing that, oh, you didn't fold it perfectly like I would. Now, every once in a while, I do like to go in there and really organize it out, but it's more for my sake usually of categorizing and figuring out what they have and what they might end up needing because they all grow like weeds. So yeah, that is what we're doing currently with this bin system in Bjorn's closet. So I just came in here, quickly tidied stuff up. He's been doing much better at keeping his room clean since the room makeover, which, hey, maybe he's a little bit more like me where it's easier to keep something clean when you enjoy the way it looks. But yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job. So I just wanted to get this cubicle in here and then put all the cubes back in and then just tidy it up. Nothing too crazy. The kids do keep their rooms clean, but I do come in and I like to tidy up every once in a while, dust, mop, all those type of things.
We were in too deep in your worn-out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever, driving in your
I know one comment that got brought up on this room makeover is how a couple people wish that we wouldn't have had the beds like all the way up against the wall. And I agree. I personally prefer beds not to be all the way up against a wall like this. But sometimes it's more about practicality rather than how you personally want it to look. So for us, when it came to these rooms, having them in the corners on these sides were just the most practical. One, it made really good space for this desk. Like we said, Xander, there's a good chance will be coming back into this room. And if that happens, they need the dual desk, dual beds, things like that. But then also still having that floor space to play when they have friends over, they're playing VR, whatever they're doing. So I think it is very important to design in a way of, yes, making it pretty. You guys know me. It's easier to keep things clean, that I enjoy the way they look, but also practicality. There are just sometimes where you got to kind of give a little on what you would prefer to help with the actual practicalness of a room. And for their room, that was going to be the most practical.
See it in your eyes when we leave for the night. Way too many heartbreaks still on your mind. Let the flame burn down for a while. Let the flame blur out for a while. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment with me. Give you a moment. Give you a moment with me. Spend all the...
So one thing that you guys sometimes see, sometimes I film it and sometimes I don't. But I always do in these kids' rooms before bringing in this vacuum mop is after I like lifted everything up, I always send in the robot vacuum to like go under furniture and get it all vacuumed first. That's usually the time that I go and take a break. Well, it does that before coming in with this right here. So I'm never as like picky about making sure that every nook and cranny gets hit because I know the vacuuming has actually already been done. I know I show that every once in a while on a videos where I show like the vacuum going in, but I don't always show it. But I wanted to like point that out. So I love being able to quickly get everything like tidied up off the floor, send in the robot vacuum, and then come in later to get this all mopped and cleaned. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.